Hello there. Good morning, everybody. It's a delight to see every one of you today. Good morning, everybody. Hello, everybody. Good morning once again. Hi, June. It's a delight to see you. Welcome this morning. I hope you had a good night. Hi, Faizo Bateza. Thanks for joining us today. You're welcome. We are glad to see you today. God bless you for joining us. Hello, Kaya. Thanks for joining. Hello, Wycliffe. Nuwamumpire. I'm sorry if I did not pronounce the name correctly, but you're welcome. Hello, Virunga and Boaz Mbabazi. Thanks for joining. We are happy to see you on the platform. Hi, Koka Adib. Thanks for joining. Hello, Sam Ekuma. Thanks for joining. We are all happy to. I'm happy to have you all on the platform today. We are so glad that you all are joining us today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. All right. I think before we begin, I have a little announcement to make. I'm sure that you must have seen on Esther's page that unfortunately her dad that has been ill for quite a long time, he passed away. He passed away 2 days ago, and so she's supposed to be ministering today, but because of this situation, she's bereaved and she needs some time. So I'm sorry that she's not be able to join us today, but she's with us. Okay, so she'll be commenting on the platform. So just encourage her, pray with her, share your condolences, and bless her. Okay, she needs prayers. She needs our prayers. Let's pray for her. Okay. So God bless you. Welcome everybody. Hello Noah, Kashaija, Tamale, Andrew, Eden, Musenge, Mona Lisa. Thank you for joining us. We are all glad to. I'm glad to hear you all. All right, today, as you know, the topic is pursue self-sufficiency, maturity, and wholeness. All right. So before we begin, I'd like us to just do last time I gave us an action point to do about the topic last week, and I hope that we benefited from the topic last week. I was expecting your action points. I mean your response based on the action point. So I hope that you practice the action point, and we are expecting your feedback. We need the feedback to know that you are benefiting from this messages, and I believe that if we share with each other, we can learn more. So if you share with us, we can learn more as we are sharing with you. So let's go ahead. Today, we're talking about pursue self-sufficiency, maturity, and wholeness. I am sure that for some people, and this topic, they may not particularly see it as maybe relating to self-discovery. But I tell you, it has a whole lot of things to do with self-discovery. Self-discovery is not only about discovering what you have inside of you, all right? But self-sufficiency, maturity, and wholeness is all part of the whole, picture about self-discovery, And this message will be geared towards the singles, especially singles who are planning to get married, or those who have a desire to get married in the distant future, who are planning and making arrangements, those who are praying, expecting that they find someone. Today, I'd like us to understand that these three elements, or these three ideas, if they are missing in your life, it is better not to get married. It's better not to say yes I do to anybody, because it is a whole, it's very, very important for us all, not just for singles who are going to get married, even those who are already married. If you are a husband, you are a wife, and you are lacking in self-sufficiency, if you are a wife and you're not matured mentally, emotionally, spiritually, if you are a needy person, you're lacking in wholeness, it is going to be a very big problem for you in your marriage. Because you see, in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, when God said, I will make a helper comparable to him. This, when God was saying that, he was saying that God was going to give to Adam someone just like him. So it simply means that someone who is complete like him, someone who has everything that he has put in Adam. All right. So the man is supposed to be complete. The woman is supposed to be complete. So if you are a single person out there and you are expecting someone to come into your life, or you're looking for someone, I want to urge you to please work on your self-sufficiency. You must be self-sufficient. You must be self-sufficient. You must be matured, and you must be whole. Without these three things, you cannot discover your totality. You cannot discover your totality. All right. Now, I'd like us to look at them in bits and pieces. This will help us to really understand what we mean. All right. Let's take first self-sufficiency. What does it mean to be self-sufficient? To be self-sufficient means you are an independent person in different areas of life. When you are self-sufficient, that means that you have an adequacy. You are adequate, when it comes to finances, when it comes to emotional life, when it comes to making decisions, when it comes to different areas of life. When you are self-sufficient, it simply means that you do not rely on anyone to do whatever it is that you want to do. So that's why you should be self-sufficient. All right. Now, why is it important to be self-sufficient? Well, it is important because if we don't do this, we will have big problems on the long run. So it is an ability that you must develop. It is an ability that you must develop. Many people are not self-sufficient for several reasons. It could be when they were growing up, they didn't have their parents did not really, put it inside of them. What do I mean? They did not discipline them to be able to think on their own. Did not mentor them or did not teach them how to make decisions on their own, or they were too emotionally attached to their parents. So that dependency is leads them to lack of self-sufficiency. All right. So, and that is a big problem. Okay, and it grows with us till adulthood. You see even adults 40 years, 50 years, who are still needy, who are still reliant, who are still dependent on, so many people. And that's not good. It's not good. So as singles out there that we are growing up, please, I want to encourage you all to take it very, very serious. So if we don't take it serious, it will be a big problem, in the sense that if you go into a marriage, you will frustrate the person. You will frustrate the other person. You will frustrate the other person because your needs, you have expectations, all right? And you want those needs to be met. And yes, the person is supposed to meet some needs, but not all the needs. When you bring all your life issues on that person, then it's going to be a big problem for the person. And there will be problems, there will be quarrels, which will lead to heartaches, abuse, and whatnot. All right. That's why it is important that we are self-sufficient. Also, the time that we have now as single people, this is the time to invest in ourselves. I know that because I was once single too. Anyway, I'm still single, by the way. But what I mean by being single means, I mean, before I got married. Before I got married, I spent my whole life investing on myself, investing on my education, investing on my character, investing on different areas of life. And that's what every one of us should be doing. All right. Please, it is very, very important. I want to quickly mention one thing. If you don't invest in yourself today, you become someone that people will be kicking around. And that I know you don't want that for yourself. So it is important that you see it as being important. So good. The next point I want to talk about is maturity. Now, maturity is a topic that can take a long time because it's a whole package on its own. We're talking about majorly mental maturity, spiritual maturity, emotional maturity, even in security. When I talk about security, I mean maybe finances. All right. So, are you matured? Are you matured as a person when you're thinking about getting married to someone? All right. Now, what does it mean to be mature? It means that you are able to take care of yourself in every ramification. That is just a general summary. You are able to meet demands. All right. Now, quickly, let's look at them one after the other. Mental maturity. When we talk about mental maturity, we're talking about ability to deal with one's ego. Ability to deal with one's ego. It also talks about being driven by the interest of others and not selfishness. So when you are mentally matured, you are not thinking about yourself alone. You are thinking about other people as well. So the idea of ego is removed from the picture. Yes, you have your interest, but you are also thinking about other people. Now, you can measure your mental maturity by these questions I will ask you now. First, before you think of getting married, are you ready? Are you ready to take care of another person? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or you're just going to, play with the person? No, no, no. You must think of it carefully. Number two, how do you handle your temperaments? Are you a hot-tempered person? If you're a hot-tempered person, are you able to, manage your emotions, your outbursts? Okay, if you are not a hot-tempered person, even if you are maybe an introvert, maybe a phlegmatic or a melancholic person, how are you able to express yourself regardless of your personality? This is talking about mental maturity. All right. Another question you must consider is, do you have an ability to admit your faults? And are you humble enough to ask for forgiveness from other people? Yes, it's very important because if you are preparing to go into a marriage, there is a possibility that you will be quarreling with your spouse on a daily basis. So you must be prepared to admit your faults and ask for forgiveness. If you are able to do this, then it shows that you are mentally matured. All right. So let's see what a few of us are saying. June is saying, I listened to a clip and emphasis was on singles, not to enter marriage to receive, but to give all. That's right, June. Marriage is about giving. Don't expect. Yes, you can. You should expect to receive. All right, but think more about giving. Think more about giving. Esther says, mental maturity, ability to deal with one's ego, driven by the interests of others and not selfishness. Thanks, love. All right. So now, another question that you must think about is, do you have an ability to express yourself and to share what you are thinking or feeling with other people? Or do you have an ability to agree with other people? If you have this ability, it means that you will no longer be myopic in whatever thing. You will think about the big picture in different situations. All right. So to be mentally matured means to have an ability to agree with other people. All right. The next point I want to make, based on mental maturity because of time, is, do you have an ability to maintain a healthy and peaceful atmosphere anywhere you are? having this kind of ability will judge if indeed you are mentally matured. What do I mean by healthy and peaceful atmosphere? So if you are mentally matured, you will know how to relate with people in such a way that there will be, a calm atmosphere. Even if there is though there is tension in the atom in the environment. Okay. So being mentally matured means you are able to negotiate, you are able to manage, you are able to relate with people in such a way that things go well. Let's talk about emotional maturity. Emotional maturity has to do with our ability to respond with sound and healthy judgment based on facts, based on facts. So you see, most of the time, this goes to many ladies. It happens to men too, You see, many ladies relate with different situations or people, based on their perception or their inclinations, right? But it may not be based on facts. So before we react or before we say anything or do anything, we must get our facts right so that it will show that we are emotionally matured. All right. So if you are preparing to get into marriage, you must think about this critically. In marriage, the couple frequently step on each other's toes without, without this kind of emotional maturity, it will bring a big problem to the marriage. So it is important that we all learn to be emotionally matured. All right. Now, the last point I want to make here is to be emotionally mature means that you are able to understand what is going on within you as a person. You're able to understand your emotions. Okay? If you have mood swings, if you have depression, you're able to understand what's going on, and then you know how to handle it. If it is something that is maybe getting beyond you, you can probably see a specialist to help you. All right. So it is very, very important for singles and even those who are already married to understand these three key areas. The last area in maturity is about social maturity. Now, social maturity is the ability to accommodate the family, friends, friends of your spouse, ability to relate with them with love, honor, and respect. So if we have this ability, to carry people along, we will definitely get it back. When you are socially mature, you're able to relate with different people from different backgrounds, from different race, from different class, or different areas in society. If you're able to do this, then you'll be considered somebody who is socially matured. To get into a marriage, you must be ready to meet people. And if you don't have social maturity, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. So the last point on maturity is spiritual maturity. How is your relationship with God? Do you think by going to church means that you are spiritually mature? I don't think so. I think every human being should have an ability to walk with God without any external help. What do I mean by external help? Maybe you're someone who depends on spiritual, people or pastors, friends. Maybe if you're a Christian, you go to the church and you depend on the corporate prayers, or you are someone who likes to mingle with church activities and things like that. It doesn't particularly mean that you are spiritually mature. To be spiritually mature means you have an intimate relationship with God. You know God for who He is. You know His ways. You know what He wants for you. You know when He is speaking to you, when He is calling you in to draw nearer to Him, when He is leading or directing you. This is spiritual maturity. So it is not about whether you go to church or not. No. Spiritual maturity means you have intimate relationship with God. All right. The last thing I want to talk about, in we being discovering ourselves as singles and even married people, is wholeness. Wholeness. When I began this topic, I shared with us Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, where God says, "Let us." It is not good for a man to be single. I'll make for him a helpmate. That's from a version. Another version says, "I'll make for him someone who is compatible to him." All right. So now that simply says to you that he himself is whole, is complete. The person that God is bringing towards him is also complete, but they have something in common. They have something in common. So for a single person to be saying, "Oh God, give me my better half," or I hear this, a lot of times among couples too. My better half is not at home now. My better half will do this or will do that. You don't have a better half because you are complete already. You are a whole person. You are a whole person. You must have this understanding and begin to operate from this understanding. When you have the understanding that you are whole, then you begin to operate from this understanding. Okay, so wholeness means that you are able to survive and to succeed without any other person. You are complete. All right. So now, wholeness is measured in different ways we make decisions. Are you a kind of person who solely depends on other people's opinions to make your own personal decisions? If you are such a person, then I don't think that you are whole. I don't think that you are whole. Yeah, so let's see what friends are sharing with us here. Okay, I think Esther has been sharing with us on the different points that we have been sharing. Okay, so Esther says maturity, ability to accommodate the family and friends of your spouse, ability to relate to them with love, honor, and respect. In turn, you will reap the same. Yeah, that's talking about social maturity. Okay, all right, let's just look at the few other ones that we we have here. Okay, so now the next point I want to talk about on being whole. So yeah, I was trying to explain that I asked a question that do you depend on people's opinions before you make your own decisions? If you do this, it means that you are mentally lazy and you're not whole yet. To be whole, yes, you may borrow people's ideas, but when you take them, you process them in your minds, and then you look at the pros and cons, and then you make your decision based on these informations, these truths, these facts. So, all right, not just what people say. Okay, and as a person, I think everybody should be able to, to think on their own and to make important decisions that will, that will make their lives better. So this is the kind of approach we must have to life. So when we are spiritually, when we are self-sufficient, when we are matured, and when we are whole, it makes us to be able to, handle any issue or any challenge that we have in life. And that gives you, that is the key. That is the key to let you know that you are ready for marriage. If you don't have these three important items, settled in your life yet, you may need to reconsider the idea of getting married. Okay, so that is that. Now, sometimes to attain wholeness, we must understand that life is full of challenges, but nevertheless that we are complete. Colossians 2:9-10 says, "For in him dwells all the fullness of the Godhead bodily, and you are complete in him, who is the head of all principality and power." So we must understand as a person that we are whole, we are complete. We don't need other people. If you're not gotten to that point yet, you may need to sit down and assess yourself. We need to gradually, read materials, read books, things that can encourage yourself with, okay, that can help you to understand who you are. Okay, so if you do this regularly, you will begin to operate from the understanding that you get. All right, and that is how we can measure up. That's how we can begin to see ourselves as able to do what we need to do. All right, so this brings us to the end of the live broadcast. This week, I'll encourage you to examine yourself deeply by answering this question: am I self-sufficient? Am I whole? Am I mature? As a single person or even as a married person. So these are the questions that I would like us to take as action points over the week. And listen to yourself. Think about your life, and you'll be able to come to some conclusions. So please, I'd like you to read related books, that talks about different things. For example, there are several messages on YouTube by DSA, Dr. Sandhya Adelaja, that can really help you, and I believe that if you use these messages. I'm sure that Esther will be sharing them on the platform. You can use those kind of messages to encourage yourself. Once again, please follow us. We like you to pray for us. Pray for Esther. She really needs your prayers. She needs your encouragement. She needs your prayers, and we were so glad to have them. God bless you all. So please share this message to everybody, to friends and family, and to all singles out there. 3 important keys that can encourage you, to know whether you are fit or prepared for marriage. All right. Thank you very much. And then see you same time next week. Bye for now.